Hello, my name's Tom Cook. I'm a barrister here at Church's Solicitors, and I'm going to talk briefly about what happens at a first appearance in the Magistrates Court. So the first appearance in almost any type of court case is all about what's going on, what's happening in this case. And that doesn't really matter whether it's a criminal case, a family case, or a civil case. So the court wants to know if you're going to plead guilty or not guilty. Now, before the court hearing has happened, you will have an opportunity to go through the evidence against you with your lawyer and be advised on what is the appropriate plea. The second thing that the court wants to know is, where's this case going? There are three different types of offences in England and Wales, and they're classified as summary only, and those are offences that can only be dealt with in the Magistrates Court. Either way offences, which are offences that can be dealt either in the Magistrates Court or in the Crown Court, depending on seriousness and complexity, or indictable only matters. Indictable only means that the case can only be dealt with at the Crown Court. So the court wants to know if you're charged with an either way offence. Are we keeping this case in the Magistrates Court, or are we sending it up to the Crown Court? And you'll be advised by your lawyer about what the appropriate venue might be for your case, and that will depend on whether or not the magistrates have sufficient power to sentence you if you were found guilty at the end of the case, but also on matters of complexity. So if there are going to be any complex issues of law that would be more appropriate to be dealt with by a Crown Court judge. If the case is summary only, it's very straightforward. It's just going to stay in the Magistrates Court, no matter whether you have pleaded guilty or not guilty. And of course, after you have entered your plea and they've decided on the venue, if you've pleaded guilty, the court will then decide on what the appropriate sentence might be, or if they consider that they need some assistance from probation, they'll adjourn your case for the preparation of a pre-sentence report. If you pleaded not guilty and if it's staying in the Magistrates Court, it's going to go for a trial. If your case is sent to the Crown Court, so either an either way offence or an indictable only offence, it will be adjourned for a hearing called a PTPH. That is a plea and trial preparation hearing, and that will be the first appearance at the Crown Court, which unsurprisingly is going to be a little bit like the first appearance at the Magistrates Court, insofar as the Crown Court will want to know what's going on and where is this case going. So the final question that the court's going to ask itself is, what are we going to do with the defendant? So if that's you, what that means is, are they going to remand you on bail, or are they going to remand you in custody? Bail works on the basis that the court will release you from the custody of court that day and require you to come back to court on a different date. If there are issues such as the potential interference with witnesses, or whether there's a concern that you might abscond, so run away and just never come back, the court will impose certain conditions on you. They're free to impose whatever conditions they see as right in order to allay any of these types of concerns. So common conditions might be things like a curfew, if you have been accused of committing offences late in the evening, for example, a condition of residence so that the court knows exactly where you are. And sometimes conditions of reporting to the police station so that the court can be content that you're still in the area. If the court is concerned that you will commit further offences on bail, interfere with witnesses, or any other of the concerns that can be raised under the Bail Act, the court will remand you in custody. What that means is that you will then be sent to a prison and then produced there for the next hearing. So that's what happens at a first appearance in the Magistrates Court.